Now let's learn EC2 creation in AWS, Elastic Cloud Compute creation in AWS. To create the Elastic Cloud Compute, we need the AWS services. To work into the AWS services, first we have to create the free tier account. If we click this link here onto the Google, we will reach to the AWS free tier account. We can create this AWS free tier account for 1 year. This account will be valid for the 1 year into the free tier, not here. Once our account is created, then we have to log in here inside the AWS, sign into the console. Once we are logging to the console here, then we will be reaching to the AWS dashboard. So this would be the first dashboard we are going to receive, where one can see that this one is related with the EC2 dashboards here. Now EC2 dashboard will show you that how many Elastic Cloud Compute you had built. It will give all the details of the Elastic Cloud Compute built here. So these Elastic Cloud Compute are basically virtual server which can be created here onto the AWS. So if we check it out, this particular EC2 dashboard, one can see here instances. It is just showing that how many instances running here. So these instances are basically virtual servers which we will be creating. So right now there is no virtual server or instance created right now. That's why it is just giving 0. Now here we are going to create a new instance, new virtual server by using the EC2 facilities inside the AWS. So here I'm just clicking here instances. Okay, either I can click it here instances, or what I can do, I can just scroll it down and you can see here launch instance. To get started, launch Amazon EC2 instance, which is a virtual server into the cloud. So here we can click here onto the launch instance, and once I will be clicking it here, the launch instance, my instance will be launched into the Mumbai region. So one can select the particular region from here. So if we are in India, we can click it here, Mumbai, or if we are any other places, one can select the nearest space where this instance could be created. So right now I'm just selecting Asia Pacific Mumbai. This here the instance would be created. You can see here Mumbai is there. So here I'm just clicking onto the launch instance just to create the virtual server. So AWS provides certain pre-created Amazon machine images. Let's learn what are the Amazon machine images. There are certain Amazon machine images. An AMI is a template that contains the software configuration where it is having the operating system, application server, and applications required to launch the instances. You can select an AMI provided by AWS or our user community. So basically, these one can see these are certain AMI instances, Amazon machine images instances, which we can select to launch that EC2 instance. So here are certain Linux instances, Amazon Linux to Red Hat Enterprise, SUSE Linux, Ubuntu Server, even Microsoft Windows instances are also present here. Microsoft Windows Server with containers, Microsoft Server 2019 with SQL Server, and many different type of Windows Server as well as Linux servers are available here inside the Amazon machine images. So one can select as per the requirements. So here we are going to click only the free tier instances. So here, because some are free and some are paid instances, so what I can do, I can just select the only free tier. So from here, I'm just clicking it here. Free tier only. So it is going to just deliver free tier eligibility instances. So one can see it here, Amazon Linux. Amazon Linux here. These are the Linux instances, Red Hat Linux instances. Any other Ubuntu servers use Linux instances. And here, if I scroll it down, one can see all these are free tier instances. So here, when I can select any one of the Windows server. So I will be selecting very basic server here. Windows server, I'm just looking. This one is also free tier, Microsoft Windows Server 2012 R2 base. So here I'm just clicking it here. If I select it, So my the virtual server will be created related with the Windows Microsoft Windows Server instances. So here I'm just clicking select. So I had chosen that instances, uh, Windows Server instances. So Windows operating system will be there into my virtual server. So by default, it will be giving you access to the T2.micro. T2.micro means it is giving me one virtual server with one virtual CPU. So only here I'm just creating the very basic free tier instance. That's why one virtual server will be created here. Next, I will clicking on to the next. Here it is asking that how many number of instances I am requiring. So number of instances here, I will be clicking here one. One can see here one. So the rest of the things I will be just clicking here as the default one. None of the things is going to be changed. So number of instance will be one. It is just giving you certain network default network. It is just giving you no, don't need to change these things here. Rest of the things are slowly we are going to learn, but right now we are not going to change any of the default settings. So here we are just clicking number of instance one only. Okay, now let's click it here onto the next one. Next, add storage. So let's check it out. What are the storages here? So it is just giving me root. It is just giving me root. Root is, it means this is acting as a C drive inside the virtual server. Its device name is DEVSDA1. So this is a default device name given here. And how much memory it provides? 30 GB memory it is providing. One can see it here, 30 GB memory it is providing as the default in C drive. So C drive is here root, and it is a general purpose volume type. The rest of the things, again, we are going to leave it default. Now here next, click on to the next, add tags. Here we can give the name to the server. So if I'm writing here add tags, so here I'm just giving my server. And here I can just give the name Windows Server. It means I'm just giving that what is the server name here. I'm just giving the name here. Windows Server is the name of that computer or virtual server. Click here on to the next. So this is going to ask the securities, how to configure the security for the Windows virtual server. So we are going to take all the values by default. So here it is going to take the security group. There are many type of security group here. So we are going to take the default RDP, remote desktop protocol, into the TCP protocol. And the default port range here, we are going to give it here. We are not going to change any of the values as we are learning the very fundamental here. Click on here onto the review and launch now. So my complete launching of the virtual server has been done. Now I have to launch it. Before launching it, I have to review the entire instance, that what is the configuration of the instance here. So the name of the Amazon Machine Image, AMI, which we are calling it as EC2 or virtual server, is Microsoft Windows Server 2000 R2 base, and this one is the Amazon Machine Image ID. Instance type is T2.micro with a one virtual CPU only. Security group name is Remote Desktop Protocol. And these are the details, instance details are given here. Storage is root. The C drive is having 30 GB of space. And the name of the virtual server will be Windows Server here. Now here I will be clicking onto the launch button just to launch it. Before launching it, this virtual server will be asking you for the collaboration of the key pair, because virtual server will be launched onto the cloud, and to connect with that virtual server we need the key pair. So we need a private key pair here. To create a private key, I need to download that private key. So here I will be just clicking it here onto the create a new key pair, because I need a particular key through which I can connect to the virtual server into the cloud. So one can see it here. A key pair consists of a public key that AWS store and a private key that you store. It means where the instance will be launched, the virtual server will be launched in AWS, they will be having a public key and they will send us the private key to make it connected. Together, they allow you to connect to your instance securely. Now, here we have to take that particular key, private key, through which I can connect it here. I'm just giving the name to that key, Windows Server 2. This is the name of the key here. I'm just putting Windows Server 2. I have to download this key pair, so that whenever this key is asked at the time of connection, I will be providing this key. So this would be Windows Server 2.pem would be the key. Okay. And if I click it here in show in folder, see here Windows Server 2.pem, this is the key. If I click it here, it will be into the encrypted format. We cannot read that key because it is having the extension .pem. It would be into the encrypted format. So you cannot read it. Okay. Okay. Now here I had downloaded. Now after downloading, I'm just launching that instance. Now it is saying, what is the launch status here? Your instance are now launching. So if my instances are launching, I can just go down and here I can see view instances so that I can see where the instance is launched. And you can see it here, this one. This one. It is coming as pending here. This one can see this one. See this instance. So here it is just showing you that this is the instance ID and here it is into the running mode now. It is into the running, okay. And it is instance is t2.micro. And if I scroll the screen, no alarms here, certain, it is available into the Asia Pacific South 1A, means Mumbai zone. Its certain IP addresses are given. See here this name which I had provided. This one is the Windows Server 2. Windows Server 2 is the name provided. So this is that particular instance which I had created. This one, I00FB4, this particular instance. If I want to see the detail of this particular instance, so we can see here, if I'm just selecting it here, it is just, this is the instance ID, the similar one, 785D at the last. And here it is just showing you the details. See here, the instance is there. What is the state, running state? These are the IP addresses. And the details of this particular instance, it is just giving. It is having the Windows platform. So these are the details it is providing. Now it is into the running state. So now what we can do means the server has been launched and it is into the running state. So now what we can do, we can connect to this virtual server. So how to make the connection? For that one, we need to connect it. For this one, I'll just click it here, connect this one. So once I will be connecting here, click here onto the connect. So it is asking connect to your instance. This particular instance you want to connect. Yes, so we have to select here RDP client, remote desktop protocol client. And here we have to download the remote desktop file inside which IP address is given for that particular virtual server and I can connect it. Click it here for downloading remote desktop protocol file. It is just downloading it here. Click here. So one can see this one, EC2 13 232 199 161, Asia Pacific South 1. compute Amazon AWS.com. This remote desktop connection, I have to connect it. I'm just connecting it here. Click it. It is asking to connect. Now it will ask the administrator password. See this one. Enter your credentials. Enter your administrator password. For taking this password, for giving this administrator password, I have to find out the password from the private key. So what I have to do, because I know my private key is here, this one, Windows Server 2.pem. Inside it, there is an encrypted password is present. So I will just select this here only. I will just select this particular private key, and inside that private key, the password which is encrypted, when I will call it, that will be decrypted, and that will give me the password here. Just click it here onto the get password. Now this is asking that if I need the password to get connected to the virtual server, here I am clicking, I have to decrypt that password. I'm clicking here onto the browse so that I can take that Windows Server 2.pem file, and this is the file, one can see it. These are the private keys. Here all the things are given into the encrypted message. So what I'll do, I'll just click it here on decrypt password so that I can get the what is the password for this particular virtual server. So now I'll just take this password, see here, from here. Password has been generated by the private key after decrypting. Now here I'm just clicking and putting here the same password. Clicking it here, okay. It is just connecting. Just click it here onto the yes. Now here it is connecting to the virtual server. Virtual server which is being created in Asia Pacific, South Mumbai area. So it is taking time to launch here. It is creating the desktop right now, Windows desktop. It is just taking the time. Please wait for the user profile services. So Windows Server is going to be launched here as a virtual server in AWS Cloud now. So here we can see now Windows Server instance has been created. Hostname, one can see the ID of the hostname is given here. Instance ID is given here. This is the same instance ID. See here, the last digit is 7858. One can say this is the same instance ID which one has created here. Here, see this one. This is the same running instance details are provided here, which are here now. This one is the Windows Server in cloud, and this one is the our desktop. Okay, this one is our desktop PC here, and this one is the virtual server we are interacting. So inside the virtual server now, there are many features. We can see it here. When I click it here onto the folders, one can see these are the default folders inside the C drive also. At the time of creation of this image, these are the default folder provided here. We can work with these folders also. We can just start working like a normal computer. Suppose that I'm just writing cd dot cd dot. So it is just working like a normal one. Suppose here I want to see what is the dir, what are the directories. So here it is saying users, window, program files, many directories are there. If I want to enter any of the directories, so it is just working like a normal computer. I'm writing it here, any command, it is just following all the commands here. If we want to install more softwares, we can do that. The server manager is also present, and one can select all those roles and features which are required to make this particular server. So one can make this server in a different role. So one can click it here and click onto the next and can select the values for the roles which are required. Like here one wants to create it a Active Directory domain services or application server, DHCP server, DNS server, fax server. And here I can just select any of the web server services also. So it depends on the requirement that what type of server you want to make after selecting these roles and features. Apart from it, we are having the administrative tool. The control panel is provided here, task manager, Internet Explorer, and many other facilities, just like a normal computer, we are working with it here. One can see how many facilities it is providing. This is our computer, when I say. This is a virtual server. This is a desktop mode now. If I want to create any particular file or folder here, I can just create it. Inside it, if my folder is created, if I want to create any particular file, here I can just create it and I can write anything inside this file. And anything you can write it here, just you can save if you want to save it. Okay, so your data would be saved here. See here, if I'm just clicking it here, this is the document and the lines I had saved, it is working. If I want to delete it here, so in this way we can just work with a virtual server just like the normal server. Now the point is here, still if we want to work more, we can see it here and one can see it here, all the details of IP addresses, availability zone. This one's AP South 1A means Asia Pacific South, Mumbai. T2.micro means one CPU is there. AMD 64 means what is the core processor working behind this Amazon machine images. Now here I want to see that I want to stop it. I want to stop it. So there are two options. Either I can stop the instance or I can terminate the instance. Stopping of the instance means right now the instance is stopped and later on we can launch it again. But terminating means the instance will be entirely dead. So what I'm doing it here, I'm just closing it from here. If I'm clicking this one, see this one, actions, what actions I need to take it here. Instance state, because I had already selected it. Now what should I want to do with this instance? I want to stop. Suppose I'm clicking here onto the stop. Stop means instance will be stopping by the running. This running will be stopped. See here, to confirm that you want to stop the instance, choose stop button. So it is asking you want to stop it. So here it is just saying stopping the button here. So here it is just stopping right now. It is taking time to stop. Once it is stopped, then later on also, if I want to make it launch, so simply I can just click it here and we can start the instance again. There is one more option. Suppose, because at the time of stopping, the instance is available and we can relaunch, we can restart it. Just like we make our computer on and we shut down the computer. Later on, again, we make the computer switch on. This is the same process going here with the virtual server. Now you can see what is the message coming here, stopped. It is now stopped here. Now, if I want to launch it again, I can just make it start instance and again, I can just launch it. Now there is one more option. Suppose I want to completely terminate this instance because suppose I don't want to work more onto the instance. I'm no more working with this instance. Simply, I will be clicking it here onto the terminate instance. Once the terminate instance will be clicked, this particular computer virtual server will be completely no more. It is dead. There is nothing related with the virtual server. So here I'm just clicking terminate. So it is, I just click onto the terminating here. Okay, this one is terminated now. This particular instance is terminated now. It is terminated now. Okay. So in this way we can work with it, right? We can work with the EC2, right? So we have seen entire life cycle, that how we can create the EC2 and how we can launch it, how we can work inside the virtual server after launching it, and how we can terminate it now. In this way, you can work with the virtual server, the very simple way of working with the virtual server. That's all for the EC2.